Back in 2023, with the release of macOS Sonoma, Apple introduced a new feature called high-performance screen sharing. Not only does this improve the responsiveness and reduce the latency of screen sharing, but it also comes with added audio features, not only higher quality stereo audio, but being able to route audio to your native Mac. Great if you're working in apps like Final Cut Pro or Logic Pro. And you can even view HDR content if you have a compatible HDR display. It's actually pretty cool. Final Cut Pro users, Logic Pro users will find that high-performance screen sharing significantly enhances the experience when using those apps over a screen sharing connection. And it comes with virtually no downsides. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the features compared to standard screen sharing and show you how to use it. So before we get started, there are some requirements to using high performance screen sharing. First and foremost, you have to be running Apple Silicon. So this only works between 2 Apple Silicon Macs. It also requires macOS Sonoma or later, and you also will need a high bandwidth connection with low latency, preferably a hardwired connection via Ethernet. Apple says the minimum requirement is 75 megabits per second, which isn't really all that much, but obviously the faster your connection, the better. If you're doing this on a local machine like that's in your house, you can just use a hardwired Ethernet connection or use a Thunderbolt connection between the two. But if you're doing so remotely, obviously your upload and download speed will have to be good enough to be able to facilitate the bandwidth requirements necessary. So now, let me just show you how to use it. Come on. And first and foremost, on the machine that you're looking to control, you want to go to Settings, General, Sharing, and then Enable Remote Management under Advanced. If you don't do this, you're not going to be able to connect remotely using the screen sharing app. So now you just hit the little I, and then under where it says Allow Access For, you can choose only these users or all users. I'm going to choose only these users, and I'm going to specify the user that I'm going to allow access. So I'm going to click the plus. Select my user, Pumpkin, click select, and then all the various permissions you can enable whichever ones you want. But obviously you will need at least observe and control enabled. But I'm going to let this user run roughshod on my machine and just do whatever. So I'm going to enable all the various permissions and then click OK. All right, so now we're set and good to go. Now we can jump over to the machine that we're going to remote in from. And from there, you want to launch the screen sharing app, which is under Utilities. And now you should see all connections and network. And under network, I'm going to see the Pumpkin Mac Mini, but I don't want to use that connection because I actually want to use my bridged Ethernet connection. So I'm going to add one manually just by clicking the little plus sign here and then putting in the IP address just like that, and then clicking connect. Now, once I do that, it's going to ask me for my username and password, and I'll just put in the credentials for Pumpkin. There we go. And I'll just click sign in. And now here is where you're going to see the ability to choose the screen sharing type. So standard works with most network connections. High performance works with high speed networks only, 75 megabits or higher. Obviously, a hardwired connection is best. So I'm going to choose one virtual display for right now and click continue. And here is my high performance connection. The nice thing about this is, as you're going to see, you're going to have extremely low latency with the high frame rate. There's no real jerkiness or anything like that. The refresh rate is great. Also, the colors look way better. There's no weird banding, etc. So now let's talk about some of the key benefits to high performance screen sharing. There are quite a few of them. This is what I noticed immediately. Overall reduced latency, fast frame rates. It just felt much more native than a standard screen sharing session. So the improved latency is overall the best reason to use high performance screen sharing, and it definitely makes a huge difference when using apps like Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro, where latency can be an absolute deal breaker. Like, you can actually use musical typing in Logic Pro and type and play music via MIDI, and there's almost no discernible latency. Like, as soon as you press a key, you hear that sound. Now I'm going to actually edit the connection and switch to a standard connection because I kind of want to show you the difference between it and the high performance connection. So let's go ahead and connect back to Pumpkin, and you can see right off the bat, see how there's that stutter, the refresh rate or the latency is just awful. And you can see the banding here on the background, the weird colors in the background. And watch here, when I move around Logic Pro, look how jerky and latent it is. Not very smooth at all. And then the audio. is actually piped through my Mac Mini speaker. It's not actually being routed to the computer I'm remoting in on. And here you can see Final Cut Pro in full screen. Look how stuttery it is and jerky. Not a pretty sight at all. And also with the standard connection, you don't get things like dynamic resolution, which is great if you're connecting to a MacBook Pro with a different aspect ratio. And you also don't get HDR support. So along with reduced latency, better audio support, those are two additional features you get when using high performance mode. So now let's switch back over to high performance mode. And let's really put this thing to the test. So click done. And you can see right off the bat, look how smooth it is. No stutters, frame rate super high, 60 frames per second. You also notice that the banding isn't nearly as bad as it was on the standard connection, especially when it comes to gradients and things of that nature. But you can see the smoothness, even when going into full screen mode, switching between the two is just so much better. And here, watch when I move Logic Pro around, look how super smooth that is compared to how it was on the standard connection. And then playing back video on Final Cut Pro, notice this, how much smoother that video playback is compared to the standard connection. The reduced latency on my gigabit Ethernet connection almost feels like it's native. So if you have a setup where you're like remoting into a headless Mac Mini, for instance, like I'm doing, that's one of the biggest reasons to use high performance screen sharing. Now, the next biggest reason that I like to use high performance screen sharing is for the sound. Not only is the sound improved with stereo output, but the actual way the sound is routed changes up the game. So when you're using standard screen sharing, all the sound just pipes through the actual, like if you have a Mac Mini and you're remoting into that Mac Mini, it comes out of the Mac Mini speaker, which isn't very handy, especially if you're editing like video or you're making music. But when you use high performance screen sharing, all that audio is routed from the remote machine to the machine that you're using to view the remote machine. So for instance, if I'm remoting into my Mac Mini, I actually hear the sound from the Mac Mini out of the output on my MacBook Pro. And the latency is so insignificant that it's like you press a key and you immediately hear that sound. And playing back videos, like all the audio is synced up, so when someone's talking, it doesn't look like they're being dubbed over. It looks like just a native video that you're watching on your Mac. Obviously, this makes a huge difference when playing back video, but even more so, you think about Logic Pro when you're playing musical typing. That's going to make a huge difference. It's going to make a huge difference for editing as well. It's not perfect, but if you have a really fast connection, you're going to notice a massive difference. The next thing that I appreciate is the better color workflow. So you get 422 chroma subsampling, and you get support for HDR on supported displays. So if I'm using my MacBook Pro display to remote into my Mac Mini and I'm playing back a YouTube video that's in HDR, I can actually view that video in HDR when I'm playing it back, even though it's not playing on my native machine, it's playing through the remote desktop. Just remember, you have to set your display's color profile to the HDR reference mode in order to enable HDR support. Now, another really cool benefit is being able to use not just one, but two virtual displays. So basically you can have two full screen displays running side by side, or you can run one at a time, or you can break them up if you want to, but you can have two different virtual displays. So it's almost like there's two external displays connected to the remote machine that you're connecting to, even if there isn't actually a physical display connected to that. So like I said, I'm using a headless Mac Mini, so I get two virtual displays that I can set up, and I can have full screen apps on both of those displays. And I can quickly switch between them. I can group them together. I can view them individually. It's pretty cool. I did want to mention the dynamic resolution feature. So if you're running, for instance, a Mac Mini, and you're displaying it via screen sharing on a MacBook Pro with a 16:10 aspect ratio, you can actually utilize dynamic resolution, which will fill the entire screen of that MacBook Pro. There won't be any letterboxing on the top and bottom, even though there's a difference in the aspect ratio. So that's really cool, and that does that dynamically on the fly. Now, there are some high performance mode limitations. The biggest limitation, I guess you could say, is that you can only have one high performance connection at a time. The other limitation is that when you're in high performance mode, you're limited to 4K output or 19 by 20 1080p high DPI mode, which obviously to me isn't a big deal. With standard mode, you get the full resolution. So on that 6K Asus display, I get the full 6K resolution. but the latency is so bad that it doesn't really matter. So I much prefer to have it limited to 4K and be able to have 60 frames per second low latency experience. So high performance mode greatly improves the screen sharing experience on macOS. And if you have two Apple Silicon Macs, you're running macOS Sonoma, it is a game changer. And I could see it being used for a lot of different scenarios. Obviously, in my scenario, I'm just using a headless Mac Mini and I'm connecting to that via an Ethernet connection in a bridge mode. But say you had a high performance Mac Studio and you wanted to use your MacBook Air sort of a dumb terminal to connect into that and then use that to edit your video or take advantage of the resources that much more higher powered device brings to the table when compared to your MacBook Air. You could do that. Obviously, a lot's going to depend on your network connection, the way you have that configured. If you're doing so remotely, whether you have a really high upload speed and download speed, obviously there's a lot of factors that come into play. But by and large, high performance mode is a much better experience. Even if you're using a wireless connection, you're just using Wi-Fi. As long as you have 75 megabits a second or higher, the experience to me is still much better, even though you're not going to have the same latency benefits as you would with a hardwired connection. So here's my question. Have you used screen sharing with high performance mode? Let me know down below in the comments section. And if you appreciate videos like this, I'll do more of them if you want them. Let me know down below in the comments section. Also, thumbs up if you appreciate this video and you think it's legit. And also be sure to subscribe because we're trying to get to 1 million subscribers. People, help us out. This is Jeff Benjamin with 9to5Mac. I'll catch you in the next one.